What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, and I'm here to tell you guys about our friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, Big Friendly Productions, BFP, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can produce shirts. Fuck, I am struggling today. A lot of caffeine. All right, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, here to tell you guys about my friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can provide shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as some graphic design services. They offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship your merch straight to your fans from their shop down in good old Birmingham, Alabama, baby. Now, whether you are getting your first shirt, you're just starting out, or you're going on a 40-show run, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check out their website, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or shoot them an email, merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Now, we're going to get into the episode. This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill. Also, make sure you guys like, rate, subscribe, tell your mama and them. And for more details and to get in touch with the rest of the familia, visit raisedrowdy.com. Now, let's get into it. Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill, a Raised Rowdy podcast.
Come on.
This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raised Rowdy podcast.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Round. Today, a very special guest, one of our favorite dudes in town. He's always at our events. He plays a lot of our events. He's got some great music out, and he's about to be dropping a brand new EP. We got our boy Walker Montgomery in the house.
It's good to be here,
my brother. Dude, we were just talking about doing some of this stuff right here and getting off. Now, you're a Kentucky guy, right?
Yeah, Kentucky guy.
So I grew up in New York, but I always have had kind of a habit of nicotine and tobacco and all of that shit. And we were just talking with Sweet Boy behind the camera because he's an Alabama guy, and he was talking about. So I've been getting no free ads. I would love for Zinn to give me money and free product. That would save me a lot of money. But we were talking about putting those in, and you're off the Grizzly and Copenhagen and all the Skull and all that shit now. How long you been off that?
Oh hell, I mean, high school. Well, freshman year of college, and but dude, I mean. You know, Kentucky, just tobacco's a way of life. I mean, my whole family on my mother's side was in the tobacco business. My grandfather worked for BAT, which was British American Tobacco, which, I mean, had everybody, you know, Brown and Williamson and stuff like that. It's a way of life, man. And it's crazy because stuff like that, and I'm not like dogging that, because Zins are awesome and everybody knows. But, you know, the farmers and stuff, the tobacco farmers, it's just almost like a dying breed. You know, I mean, I remember growing up in Kentucky. I mean, every other field was a tobacco field.
Bro, the smell.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome, man.
You can get that driving through Springfield, Tennessee, north of town.
Yeah.
Where it's that time of year, and you wake up and you just smell that aroma of the tobacco fields.
And it's great. But I mean, it was either in Kentucky, it was either tobacco fields, cornfields, soybeans, or horse fields. And now it just seems like the tobacco fields are dying off.
So what's the big thing up there then?
Now the hemp is coming in.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right.
But they've been planning that stuff for years, man.
Yes.
I mean, they're just waiting for it to be legalized.
Yeah, and there are a lot of resources. My uncle, so during COVID, I spent a few months. I have an aunt and uncle. They live out in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Okay.
They used to live in Jonesboro.
Okay.
And Jonesboro is part of like that Tri-Cities, oldest city in the state of Tennessee, and they had a 40-acre farm out there where they would grow some stuff and board horses and do all that stuff. So during COVID, I spent a month and a half on their farm. You talk about like city slicker.
Yeah.
I'm building fences. I'm turning out the horses. I'm taking the dogs out for the I'm doing burn piles. I'm doing all that shit. But
it's fun, man.
But his neighbor was talking about getting into hemp. And this was back like 2020. And like just the farming industry and the agricultural world is just something I don't know a whole lot about. I got to experience it for that a little bit, but it is such a huge thing. So did you grow up in that kind of world? I know obviously the music runs in the family and shit, but like growing up where you grew up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a farmer by any means. You know, I mean, I know just
you've partied in a field.
Oh yeah, big time. I know just enough to be dangerous. But yeah, man. I mean, like you said, music was on my father's side definitely I mean, that was just our thing. But on Papa and my mother's side, our whole world was tobacco, and he owned a company called Ridgeway for the longest time, and what we would do is we would take the shavings of like Marlboro, L&P, and we would make cheap cigarettes out of it. So like Axis was a company. You go up to Kentucky, you see Kentucky's Best, which got a horse on it and stuff. That's a cheap cigarette. That wasn't our cigarette, but just the cheaper cigarettes when a little case of Marlboros is $68. Ours would be half.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man. I mean, it was definitely, it was kind of weird to have the two businesses because music is just so when your family's in the music industry, it's just all about music, and nobody talks about the tobacco side. But it was fun, it was fun kind of seeing Papa, my Carl White, in that business, because it was a totally different world than what I see Dad in and what I'm in now.
Yeah, it's talk about a country lifestyle, tobacco and country music.
Yeah.
That is as Kentucky as it gets. Growing up, do you feel that kind of pressure having that Montgomery name? Because it is, I mean, growing up, I grew up listening to country music up in New York, and I mean, obviously your father, John Michael, and Eddie, and then you even see it with your cousin Dylan. Like, it's just in the family, dude. Like, what's it like growing up in that environment? Like, is there pressure? Like, I gotta sing in church. Like,
man, I think if I would have gone into the pop world, there would have been some pressure, to be honest with you. But in the country, where obviously people bring it up and stuff. And at the beginning, I kind of tried to, not hide it. Isn't the right word, but shy away from it, not promote it. And I don't promote it now, but it's like Dad did some awesome stuff, man. I mean, he had some awesome, and same with Eddie. He did some awesome stuff, had some great songs, and was able to do a lot of stuff that a lot of people weren't able to do. And so I'm proud of what he was able to do. And the older I've gotten, it's like there is no hiding it, and I wouldn't want to. I'm proud of what he was able to do in the business. So in that sense, there's not like, oh, I got to fill the shoes, but there's always a friendly family competition. It's like, all right, well, you had however many hits, I'm gonna try to get one more than you.
Yeah.
But no, man, it like I said, in the pop world, I feel like I probably would have had some pressure, but
I can't even imagine you in the pop world.
No, neither can I.
I couldn't imagine that.
I always say,
I mean, nowadays it could work because country is on pop radio.
Yeah.
Country is the highest charting thing in all of music in this country, which is fantastic.
It is, yeah. But I just didn't grow up on pop either, so there wasn't a chance in hell that I was going to do that.
Yeah.
But it being in the country industry, there wasn't that. People would bring it up, but it wasn't like, hey, you've got to live up to the name, which is good, I think.
Yeah, because I'm good friends with Allie Colleen.
Yeah.
Similar kind of situation. She's Garth's youngest daughter.
Yeah.
But you would not know that she's Garth's daughter based on the branding and what, like, choosing to be yourself. And I feel like you're like that as well. Like, Walker Montgomery is very different than John Michael Montgomery.
Oh,
like,
big time,
you do your own thing, and I credit you for that.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
I'm 24 now.
You're 24. You talk like you're damn 40, bro. Like, you just have because I always wondered. And then I think, because the first time I think we had you on around was one of the Whale Tail takeovers.
Yeah, it was a long time
with
ago.
Whales,
too.
and that was back when we were kind of the renegades doing stuff during COVID, and we were doing rounds when folks told us we couldn't be doing rounds. We did them anyway, and I remember Whales being like, "Yeah, Walker's like 21." I was like, "No fucking way."
Seems like it was forever ago.
Yeah, dude, time flies, and I feel like the last few years have really kind of flown by. And you had time now. You've gotten to work with some incredible, like, legendary songwriters, legendary producers. Like, you had your chapter over at Play It Again, working with Dallas, and now you're working on this new stuff with Bart Butler.
Yeah,
bro. And
those
who don't know, Dallas Davidson. I mean, you can't talk about country music the last 20 years without talking about Dal and what those Georgia boys have done. And then same thing with Bart and what Bart has done as a writer, both in the Texas scene and here in Nashville. What's it like being a young gun, working with guys like that? I mean, that's got to be pretty cool.
Well, look, I mean, Dallas, and my time at Play It Again was awesome.
Yes,
I mean, we created some good music, got a good base of followers and stuff. And Dallas he's amazing. He's just a great guy. I'll always love, even though I'm not over there anymore, I'll always love Dal. He took a chance on 19-year-old kid, which
You
is
were 19 when
I
you
was
signed
19,
there?
which is about the ballsiest thing a man can do.
Yes.
You know, because I know, I mean, hell, I know how I was at 19. I was a mess, you know, but it was awesome, man. And I'll tell you what, I learned a hell of a lot over there. That was my first deal, my first publishing deal. I learned how to write a song, essentially, under Dallas, and he was a great mentor, and still is. You know, I mean, I take it. Stuff that Dal taught me, you know, I carry with me every single day. But and Bart, man, it was earlier, I guess last year, we just kind of kicked it off, and I wanted to go in the more traditional sense, just because that's what I grew up on. That's what I love,
Bro, that's who you are.
Yeah, you know, and it's just
it.
And it just made sense. You know, he understood what the noise that I wanted to make, and obviously I knew his capabilities, and we just kicked it off. We're going to the studio in October again, so it's been a great partnership, and got the EP work to do coming out, and it's just great, man. I'm the luckiest person alive, with not only, you know, my family and how great they are, but with the people who I've been lucky enough to work with. It's just awesome, man. I can't complain. I'll find, you know, something ain't going my way or something, I'll find myself, you know, kind of mad or whatever it is, and I just kind of have to sit back and be like, all right, I got it better than 99% of the people out there. I mean,
yeah, dude. Well, good people tend to find good people, and I feel like that's a big thing in this town. Like, my journey has been finding some good people.
Yeah, man.
It started out rough being on Broadway for a little bit.
Oh, big
I got
time.
to see Nashville.
Well, you got to find your tribe, man. You got to find the people that you click with, and you got to find, and that, I mean, that's for everybody in this town. It seems like you got writers or artists or, you know, influencers or whatever it is. Once you find your kind of core group of people that you enjoy being around and just kind of click with, it makes your life better, but it also makes your industry side of your life just, I mean, it makes it run more smooth. And that's how things happen, you know, because if you're just writing songs or something to, you know, write songs, it you know, it's just it doesn't really, very rarely do you write a song with somebody you've never met and it's a hit, right? Mainly you got to kind of figure out how they work. They kind of have to figure out how you work and stuff. And once you gel, then that's when you can really get the good stuff. And that goes for any industry, really.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So who's kind of your tribe of where you're at right now?
Man, I love writing with Jack Hummel. We write,
I love that guy, dude.
He's a riot.
Me and him had some fun during COVID, man.
Oh, did you?
We did. The house party scene during COVID, bro. And when I mean house party scene, I don't mean like that, like the fashion house or any of that shit that happened, but like I'm talking like 10, 15 people hanging out around a fire, hanging out inside, and everybody playing the songs that they wrote this week. And I'm just sitting there like a pig in shit enjoying it, because I ain't writing any songs. I'm not in that world. But Jack is a great dude.
He's a great dude. He's a great word guy. See, I'm a melody guy. He's a word guy. We kind of figured that out. And Kaylin Robertson joins us a lot. She's amazing.
Yep, Kaylin and Matt are awesome.
Matt's great.
That was how I met Jack. Was through Kaylin and Matt.
That's how I met Jack too, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's a group of people, and I mean, really, kind of the folks that we both run around. I mean, that's kind of the people that I enjoy writing with and stuff. And it just, like I said, once you figure somebody out and they kind of figure you out, you can tell if you're going to gel in the writing room.
Yeah. Now, you were on the road this weekend?
Yeah, we were out with Runaway June in Kokomo, Indiana.
Very
misleading. You know, it ain't the Beach Boy song.
Yeah, it sounds like a town in Florida that I couldn't afford to live in. Now, what is Kokomo, Indiana like?
There wasn't much there, but I mean, it was a cute little small town, Midwest town. I enjoy going to places like that too. It's always fun to. And it kind of reminds me, you know, a lot of those places remind me of Nicholasville, where I grew up, just south of Lexington, Kentucky. But it's always fun to just check out new places. I kind of made a vow to myself this year. It's like, all right, you know, I've been to a lot of places, seen a lot of their roads, you know, because when we get there, we do the show and we leave. And so I've been trying to, whenever I get to a show or if we're going someplace cool, get out there a day early or something. Like we went to Reno the other day, and I was like, I've never been to Reno. I'm hanging out in Reno for a couple days. Went down to Lake Tahoe and stuff like that. But been trying to really enjoy the places that we're going to instead of just going there to work and then getting out.
Bro, I feel that with my years on the road, dude. There's something about going around a small town and going into some little pawn shop some little store where they just have all kinds of old shit.
You just never know what's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we did that. We went to a music store in Columbia, South Carolina one time, and
Columbia's great.
My buddy Ben Miller, who's on the road with Trey, had for a long time just a habit of just every time we'd go into one of these small towns, he'd walk out of there with an amp or a guitar or some shit, and we'd have to find room for it in the damn trailer, because that was back when we were in the van in the trailer. And you just never know what you're gonna find.
I do the same thing, mate. Well, I've got I work on cars. That's my
you're a car guy.
I'm a car guy, yeah. But so that's, some people got hunting, some people got fishing, and I enjoy that stuff. But it's like my getaway from music is getting under a vehicle. And working under a vehicle, not getting run over by one. But I mean, I've got this garage back up in Kentucky, man, and I'm always trying to find like old signs and stuff like that, old gas station signs.
What are some of your prized possessions in
that? Mebane, North Carolina has the best like antique car decor shops. It's awesome, and it's just the most random place. They're a big tobacco town, by the way.
Yeah, so what have you gotten out of there?
I got a old, it's called Hamilton Dryers. It's this old like neon sign from like 1943, and it's just, it's a little beat up and stuff. So I blasted some of the rust off and all that, replaced the lights, but it's just for an old 1940s like clothes dryer. And it's awesome. I wish I had a photo of it to show you. But it's stuff like that, man. Just, because everybody can get a Shell sign or like a Gulf sign or something. The kind of stuff that I look for is, I'm like, all right, nobody is ever going to see this anywhere else. They're not going to see a Hamilton dryer neon sign anywhere else, because there's probably like 3 of them there, in the world. But man, that's probably my number one, to be honest with you.
And what cars have we been restoring and working on?
I got the one I'm totally restoring is a 1971 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow.
No shit.
And when you think of Rolls-Royce, you think of luxury, and this one will be, but right now it's in like 1 million pieces. And but it's fun, man. I've got an old buddy named David Trapp up in Lexington who that's like his thing. He's got to be the number one British car restorer in America. And so he taught me everything that I know about it. And it's up on the lift right now. I got like 1 day probably left on the undercarriage, and then I can bring it down and we can start painting it. But that's probably the prized possession. And then my driver is a 1963 T-Bird. Wow. And my granddad had a 69 T-Bird, and he had to sell it because the back seat was curved, and her baby seat didn't fit in the back seat, so he had to sell it. But so I tried to find a 69 T-Bird, and I couldn't find one with the color combination that he had, so I just got the 63. I just got one that I thought was cool. So we'll drive around in that and just cruise a little bit. But that's probably that's the one that I drive most of the time. But once the Rolls Royce is done, it's over. I don't know if that thing's going to be driving.
Dude, now you get back up to Kentucky pretty often?
Not as much as I'd like to. My first couple of years in Nashville, I got really homesick, and so I would drive. If I didn't have rights on Wednesday or Thursday and I had to go on the road on the weekend, I'd go up to Kentucky. But I was also living downtown, and my basement was a bar.
You were living downtown?
I was living downtown, yeah.
What bar were you above?
The pub. So the British pub.
Oh, so right
just
here.
Literally, like right there.
Here in the Gulch.
Yeah, man. And it was awesome. I'd never done
what is
before.
country boy Walker Montgomery doing in the Gulch? What the hell? That is not something I would have guessed. I would have pictured you out in Hendersonville,
dude,
out in Spring Hill and White House.
It was fun, man. Because I'd never done anything like that before. We lived on 17 acres, and then we had a hunting farm and stuff growing up. So I lived in a dorm for like 9 weeks. That was about the closest I'd ever gone to freaking living downtown. But so it was kind of a culture shock, man. And I think that's part of the reason that I wanted to go back up to Kentucky so much, was just because I was like, man, it's fun, it's convenient, because I was writing all the time, and still, I still am, but it wasn't for me. It was fun for a 19, 20, 21-year-old, but after the shine wore off, I was like, all right, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready for a yard. Yeah,
yes. Yeah, having a yard is very nice. See, I've always when I first moved down there, I was in an apartment. Yeah. I was in an apartment in Spring Hill. So I was like,
that's so much better, dude.
But it was beautiful. I was paying $450 a month in rent. But I was working on Broadway, so I was driving back and forth. But the rent was nothing. And I've been in a house I've been in like houses ever since. This is my first year that I'm actually renewing a lease. I'm out in Hermitage. And it's nice. It's good to be out there. The pub is a great fucking
awesome,
spot,
man.
Dude.
It's awesome. I love it.
I didn't know it's been here that long.
Yeah, big time, man. Hell, when I moved down here, it was there, and Burger Republic right next to it, and those were I didn't even have to cross the street to go home. I mean, that was the main thing. It was a great place, especially when I was drinking. It was a great place.
Oh, dude, dude. Do you ever get down there for the early morning soccer games? Do you ever pop in for one of those?
I've been there a couple times for the soccer games. We always used to do the trivia night.
Oh, we did that one night. Yeah. We did the trivia night one night.
It's fun, man. I'm a history guy, so I'm like only there for that section. But my bass player who doubles as my TM, he's real good at it. His wife is real good and we're all good at different, like sections of it. So we're pretty damn good at it, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's just fun. It's a good place to hang out. There's like a time and a place for places like Red Door or Tin Roof or something. But if you just want a chill night, drink a couple beers, have some good food, place like the pub, perfect, man.
Yeah, the food there is outstanding.
Awesome.
And the breakfast is good too.
Breakfast is good.
Breakfast is probably the most underrated thing about that place.
It's huge though. Like I mean, especially when I was drinking. I mean, we'd go there, after a night at Red Door or Losers or something, man, and we'd devour that. They have a hangover bowl or something.
Yeah, I've had that and I don't even drink anymore.
God, dude. Oh yeah,
I never drank and I've still gotten the damn hangover bowl.
It's huge, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is good. How long have you been off the drinking now?
It's been over half a year. It's been 260 something days.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
It's changed my life, tell you what.
Dude, it absolutely will change your life. See, I celebrated I'm past days and on the years now, which is very nice.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, it was 7 years for me back in May.
Holy shit.
So I got sober before I moved down here.
That's a good thing. You'd be dead.
Oh, dude, I would. I would be dead. And especially like the being out in town and networking when you're sober is a whole different animal, dude. It's a whole different. I'm California sober, so I still do that. But I don't even really do that much when I go out anymore because there were times where I'd be in Red Door and you would think that I'd be drunk because I'd be so high that I'd be looking around. Would come across as that. What kind of led to you wanting to get off the sauce and take a break? And is it a permanent break?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was 23 at the time, and I wasn't drinking any more than any other 23-year-old. Like, I wasn't shooting 20 shots of whiskey a night, but I just kind of woke up one day, man, and I was like, I don't look the way I want to look. And the main thing, man, I was like, I'm tired. I'd kind of realized that I'd already sowed my wild oats. I had a damn good time, and but yeah, man, it was just time for me. And like I said, I wasn't drinking any more than any other 23-year-old out there. Yeah. And I was single at the time, so any single 23-year-old, and but it was just time for me. But I'll tell you what, I have had more fun going out sober than any time when I was drinking. And which shot, like my sister's wedding, she got married earlier this year, and I was dancing at the wedding. I've never danced before in my life. And I had the time of I was completely sober. I was the only one that was completely sober. But that and my grandparents. But yeah, man, it's improved my life 180, and I wasn't in like a bad place, which I know a lot of people are, but it's just the best decision I've ever made. There's no doubt about it.
That's good, man. That's got to adjust road life for you, too.
It is, man. It was tough at first, to be honest with you. Get off the stage, you want to drink a beer or something. But the non-alcoholic beers are great.
You're
man.
a big Bush NA guy.
I'm a big. Well, that's what, because Live Oak has them, right?
Yes.
I'll tell you what. My favorite is the Heineken Zero.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like drinking out of a bottle.
Yeah.
But they're awesome, man. They taste the same. I mean, there's a bunch of good companies out. Athletic makes a good one.
Athletic is one, and they're all over the place in Nashville
all
now.
over the place, man. And but yeah, dude, it's I highly recommend it to anybody. You know, anybody who's thinking about just getting off the sauce or whatever it is, man. Yeah. It changes your life.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Now, are you a big hitting the gym guy and like wellness
Do
kind
I look
of person?
like I'm hitting the gym? No, but
I think so. I didn't know. Like,
yeah.
I didn't
no,
know.
that's because I quit drinking.
The wellness thing.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, it was. I'm more of like a walking guy. You know, I'm living in a neighborhood now. My granddad walks 6 miles a day.
Wow.
So I've got to keep up with him. You know, and luckily he's down here a lot, hanging out with me. So we'll go walking and stuff, but that's part, going on the road too. That's part of the thing. I'm like, hey, I want to see these towns. It's just walking around. I mean, it's because it's tough. Hell, you've been on the road. Getting off that bus and getting any kind of exercise is almost impossible.
Yeah,
and you've got to make yourself do it. But yeah, man. So I mean, I'll hit the gym about 3 times a week at like the actual gym.
That's good. That's more than most people.
Well,
honestly.
hell, I don't know. But it's also a good way to clear your mind too.
Yes, that's like me. I got back in it today. I had a couple weeks where I started treating my body like a dumpster again.
Yeah, there you go.
And football season will do that to you, man.
Oh, dude.
Chicken wings at the Rusty Nail are fucking good. Like you have your fantasy football draft, and like I told you, I'm California sober. I'm hanging out with Nikki with Nikki T and the D-Gens.
Yeah.
Domino's pizzas just pop up out of nowhere, man.
Where do those come from?
Right. Them cheesy breads are good. Like it's tough to eat right, but yeah, getting off the booze. I remember losing I was chubby in college when I was drinking, man, because I was a bottle of Jaeger. I would keep a bottle of Jaeger stocked. And I was in college. I'm a few years older than you, so I would keep. I was in college 2013 to 2017 up in New Jersey, and that to me is like the Fireball era. That's when FGL is thinking that Fireball whiskey whispers, and then like Jaeger and Fireball were my two, and I kept it stocked. And there's a lot of sugar in that shit, and you're drinking that every day, even going to class and stuff. Like getting off that was a huge
and also
body
you're
adjustment.
Invincible at that age.
Oh, dude,
it's like who cares, man? We'll just do it again.
Yeah,
we'll do it again tomorrow. It's like you're never hungover if you're never sober.
Yes.
But that's college, man.
Yeah, it is. So you tried the college thing?
I went for what I call my glorious 9 weeks, and exactly what happened, man, is I just wanted to join Sigma Chi. Right, I wanted
at what college?
At UK.
Oh, so Wildcat. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So I was playing a like fan voted pre-game concert for the kickoff of the football season. And I'd written a song called Simple Town. Never written a song before, a full song, never performed it. And I had this drummer at the time named Evan Hammonds. He was like, dude, we can put some music to that. And I was like, well, shit, let's play it. And so we played it there, and a guy named Michael Jordan, of all things, came up to me afterwards. He's a radio guy.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, if you cut that song, I'll put it on the radio up here. And after that, I was like, all right, UK, I can come back if I need to, but this is, the opportunity is here. I ain't gonna pass it up. Yeah. So I dropped out, and then I moved to Nashville probably 8 months afterwards. But I was still living up in Lexington, so I got to do the college thing without actually going to class. Yeah.
Did you have a declared major?
Communications or something like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
but
that's what I would have changed it to history because hell, you're 18, you don't know what you want to do. I knew I wanted to do music, but I didn't know how to get. I was just playing like Proud Mary's Honky Tonk Biker Bar 3 nights a week. Playing 4-hour covers.
What is Proud Mary's Honky Tonk Bike? Does that have the cage? The cage?
No, it doesn't have the cage.
I'm thinking like Toby Keith. Like I love this bar where people are just throwing the drinks at the fence.
But it was it was this old biker bar on the river down there, and so we'd go down there and play it all the time. And it was really just beer money. It's like, all right, if you make $100 a night, you're like, "Phew, come on, this will be gone in 2 days." But it was just fun, I mean, I learned some chops on the guitar and stuff like that. It was a good time to do it before I moved down here, and I didn't have to, play on Broadway and stuff, which was good because I just don't know if I could have stayed up that late. The whole playing on Broadway
and drinking
I mean,
people pulling. There's guys and girls that pull doubles and triples down there that go from one bar to another bar to another bar, and they'll spend
impressive,
12 hours.
Man. It's really impressive how they do that. I mean, if you're drinking and still playing that well, you've got just ridiculous talent.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
Man. Have you gone down to Broadway? I'm sure you have in your years of being here. You've been here 5 years now. What are some of your go-tos down there? Because Broadway's different now than it was a few years ago.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and because my girlfriend Lauren was in town, and she wanted to go to Broadway, and I was like, ugh.
It's the worst. That is the worst thing. Any people out there that have friends here in Nashville, let us take you to spots. Don't be like, let's go to Broadway. Let us show you Midtown. Let us show you East. Let us show you Germantown and the Gulch and 12 South.
Yeah, but so we went there, and after about an hour and a half, she's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go home." But I mean, when you moved down here, I'm sure, you didn't have to wait in line to get into a bar. You just walk in and you walk into Kid Rock's, have a good time, have a couple beers, and go home. But the lines are what gets me. I hate waiting in the lines, man.
See, the lines as a door guy is a secret. Lines were how I would make, because I was a door guy.
Yeah.
So you see a line, you see cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Tip to skip, man.
Yeah.
Tipping is not just the musicians and the bartenders down there. Tipping, there were like learning how to hustle a door.
Yeah.
Because I was at Whiskey Row.
Oh,
so
dude.
I was at Whiskey Row.
Making bank.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my roommate in Spring Hill, because he would work one door, I'd work the other. We basically furnished our apartment off of door money. Oh, big 54-inch Vizio TV. Door money.
Where did that come from?
We're not ordering on Amazon because we're paying cash.
Yeah, right. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, government ain't knowing about that stuff.
No,
man.
Dude, we're paying cash and stuff. But like, because you were down here, so you remember like Crazy Town being a thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy Town was like the first bar that was like a club.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
Crazy Town was wild. Now it's Miranda's place, Casa Rosa.
But I was also, when I moved down here, I was also 19 and 20 years old.
Were you 19 or 20, or were you 19 and 20 in the state of Kentucky? Did you have?
I was not. I was 18 in the state of Kentucky.
Did you have an ID?
Yeah, man.
What was your ID from?
It was Mississippi, I think.
Okay,
So
you could pass as a Mississippi guy.
Yeah. So this is a funny story,
and you're
man.
an old, and you. I would imagine. Did you have facial hair back then too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you would.
If I didn't have facial hair and I threw a cowboy hat on, I'd look exactly like John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
So grow the beard.
Yes.
But man, I'll never forget, because I didn't have one. I mean, in Kentucky, it's like whatever. You just walk into a bar, and but I had this door when I was living at in the Gulch. There was this door guy who he was a cool dude. And I woke up one morning, and there was an ID slid under my door. And I guess somebody had left it at the front desk or something. He was like, "This looks enough like you. Here you go." And, it just cool. His name was Daniel or something like that. Just coolest dude ever. But I was like, well, I guess I got an ID now. Let's go to Broadway. It's a funny story. I wish I still had it, man.
Yeah, see, we used to collect those.
Oh, for real?
Oh, dude, I remember the big ones were like around spring break time.
Oh, dude.
SEC tournament and basketball, which those usually coincided. Mm-hmm. New Year's, like whenever you would have like the Music City Bowl, for example, you have all the Big Ten, all the Big Ten students.
I need an ID.
Well, I wouldn't tell them, but what we'd do is you'd get the ID and you'd put it right in your pocket. You'd go home and then we'd show them off to each other. Like, look at this one. I caught a fake Mexican ID. I caught a fake British ID.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this this guy tried using a misrep with a military ID that wasn't him.
Ooh,
this
man.
guy, dude, we had one, my old roommate Dakota, same guy we furnished the apartment with, my partner in crime. One time he pulled off getting a passport that wasn't legit. Somebody had
That's a ballsy move, man.
Somebody had a not legit passport, but he was so good at detail because he's the one who taught me how to check IDs, man. And I remember pulling in 10 to 12 IDs a night.
Oh my God, dude.
And bro, we had a book. We had like a trading card book, like what people do with like Pokemon cards or baseball cards or any of that. And we had them organized by state. And you would go down the list, dude. And like we had them like, and especially like South Carolina was a very common one. And you would be able to tell like the little tricks, like on the back of a Tennessee ID, one of the letters on the where it says Tennessee, like, or the T and the N are supposed to be touching, and the fake ones they wouldn't be touching. So like you would learn the little things, or like shining a flashlight and the hologram doesn't do what it's supposed to. So we
That's wild, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was my life was checking IDs. My life was checking IDs and dealing with drunks after the guys upstairs kicked them out of the bar. That was my life.
Military ID and a passport. I mean, that's going to extreme lengths. I feel like to just get into a bar. That's a ballsy move, I think.
Yeah, because you have all the guys that are up at Fort Campbell that are just borrowing
that's true,
See, that was where we would we would get folks like that, dude. Yeah, the Broadway days. I mean, I look back on those and it's like I'm glad I made it through because I wasn't drinking alcohol, but I was drinking a lot of caffeine.
Oh, dude, Red Bulls and Monsters.
Bro,
and stuff.
my drink when I would go out was a tropical Red Bull with pineapple juice in it. So you have all the sugar. Or the blueberry Red Bulls. I drank 5 or 6 Red Bulls a night going out after my shift. Because if I worked the day shift, you get off at 7, and then you go out to find that group of bachelorettes that you check their IDs and one of you or your boy got their Snapchat. And you're like, oh, you hit them up. Where are you at? And then they're like, oh, I'm at Aldean's. Oh, I'm at Honky Tonk. Oh, I'm at Valentine. And then you go down there and I'm drinking 5, 6, 7 Red Bulls a night after that.
Playing the game, man.
Bro, dude, it's moving down because I moved down here at 23. So moving down here at 23 was like, because I did the college thing, but I feel like that first year in Nashville was really the college experience. I didn't do a fraternity. I didn't go to like a big party school or anything like that. I didn't have that experience. But working on Broadway at 23, bro.
Big time. That's your college.
It was. It was. And the guys that I worked security with were my frat brothers, and the girls that were the bartenders or the servers were my sorority. And you would always, and then you'd have relations with the other door guys that were down there. Like I knew the crew at the stage. I knew Tugboat, big motherfucker Tugboat. He worked with me at Whiskey Row a little bit. He's from Kentucky as well. Big bearded bastard, but he would work over at AJ's, or like I knew the guys that were at FGL, or like my buddy KO who's at Tin Roof now. He was at Aldean's. He was in the Tequila Cowboy group with Aldean's and FGL forever. So like you'd see those guys, like, so when they would come to get in, there'd be a line, you'd let them in, and then when you'd go there and there'd be a line, they'd let you in. It's that mob mentality almost, like friend of the family kind of thing. So
I love it, man. That's
dude,
hilarious.
that was it, and it's like that in Midtown too. Like I have a buddy Ricky because I worked at Dogwood for a while, and Ricky, older guy, motorcycle, good friends. There's the 2 twins, I forget their name, but two black guys that are from Chicago. But they're you go to winners, losers, Dogwood Red Door, they're always out. They're good dudes, and they always had our back if we got in the shit. But like you just have that kind of stuff. So as far as the music goes and stuff, so what's this EP called that you're dropping?
It's called Work to Do, and I wrote Work to Do back 2021, like just right when we were kind of starting to get back into the offices and writing rooms and stuff. Adam Wood and Mark Irwin, 2 guys I really like writing with. We kind of cranked it out. I think I was really hungover that morning, and he was like, "Man, I got this idea. Whiskey's got some work to do." And I was like, "All right, let's write it." And it turned out I was like, "Well, I love this song," but yeah, man, it's definitely kind of my mentality now because we didn't release music for a whole year.
I remember that. I remember being like, when's the new Walker coming? When's the new Walker coming?
I was getting fairly concerned, to be honest with you. But looking back, I mean, it's like what was the reasoning? Like, well, I just gotten out of a deal, and we were just trying to get the right songs and finding time, and it it was just kind of a transitional period in not only my career but my life too. But it was it was good to almost take a year off and recharge the batteries and everything. But I knew that we had some work because we were rocking pretty good there for a minute, and we had some work to do to kind of get back there. So it's definitely been kind of the theme of my life, 2023, absolutely. But we got 6 songs on it, work to do. Never Again, One More Time, which is probably going to be the single off of it. Time Stood Still, which is a song I wrote. Tired of You, which is the current single, and probably my favorite song that I've ever recorded. And hell, there's another song. Things That Break My Heart is the other one. But man, I'm pumped up about it. Releasing singles is fun, but when you get to put out a whole project, it's got a different kind of charm to it. Almost, it's just because you put the work in. You put a lot of work into singles too, but when you got a full length EP or full length album or something, you put your heart and soul into it, man. It's really fun when it finally comes out and you get a reaction to it.
Yeah, dude. And I feel like right now is the perfect time for you to be putting out. I think any time's a great time for us to be getting some new Walker Montgomery. Let me say that. Big fan.
Appreciate it.
I've been a big fan of what you do since I met you and first heard your shit. But right now there's just country's in so many different places and there's so many different lanes within it. And one of the lanes that I think is really thriving right now, and something is me and Nikki T sit around and talk about new music all the time and talk about trends and talk about this, talk about that, like what a label does. But we're just 2 dudes smoking cigars on the back porch talking about it. It's our passion. We love it. The traditional style of kind of kick it in the teeth country, like shit that makes you want to wear jeans and boots, and shit that makes you think about the tobacco farm back home. Things that where it's those storytelling songs. It's something you could twirl a girl around to on the dance floor. And there's lots of guys and girls that are doing it. Folks that come to mind are like yourself, like Zach Top, like Colby Acuff, like May Estes, like S.J. McDonald. Yeah, there's just this resurgence of this 90s, early 2000s, like pre-bro country stuff that is coming through Nashville, Texas, Oklahoma, all these different places. So it's like if there's a time for this music to get the audience that it really needs and really deserves, like Tired of You is a smash, bro.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
It's so good. Right now in the fall of 2023 seems like a great time to really put the pedal down on that kind of stuff, man, and really get after it.
I mean, I agree, man, and like you said, it's obviously a trend towards that. But yeah, Tired of You, dude. It's so simple. It's such a simple song.
It doesn't have to be complicated to be a country song. That's what makes.
Love it.
They say 3 chords in the truth for a reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a line in there. I didn't even listen to the full song first time I heard it because the second verse starts with, hell, I'm tired of everybody always blowing up my phone. I blow it up myself, but they don't leave me alone. And I was like, I texted Bart, said, this one, we're doing this one. But no, man, I'll tell you what, I met Zach Top for the first time the other day. We were at Jake's house.
That kid is special.
Dude, just a great guy. We just, I mean, we weren't like just talking nonstop. I mean, we're just kind of watching band play and stuff, kind of, having a conversation here and there. So normal and just a normal guy. And I just love it. And not to mention that he's freaking talented as hell. I had to go up on the stage after him and I was like, oh, damn it. It's like, I really don't, I wish I would have gone before you. But just, dude, just a normal dude, and I love it because so many people are so weird now.
And he grew. There are a lot of interesting folks.
Just a lot of weirdos.
There's a lot of interesting folks, man, and that's what you get with artists. But Zach is a guy that grew up on a not a cattle farm, but cattle auction.
He's real.
Yes,
he's real, man, and you can tell his voice is real. You can tell his songs that he's cutting is real. He's amazing.
Yeah, and he's another guy that's doing it right now on an independent level.
Yeah, man.
Which that's
Absolutely.
the thing. It's so important to be able to say what you want to say, and if that's throwing it back to what folks like your father were doing 20, 30 years ago, then that's got to be it, man. And I feel like in not even just the traditional side, but you see like the 2000s, like pop thing, like the Sheryl Crow sounding stuff through friends like Morgan Wade, through the Meg McCrees, through the Brooke Lees, like people like that doing their thing. Then you have this 2000s rock stuff coming back, the butt rock, which we love.
I know y'all love the butt rock.
We fucking love the butt rock, which butt rock night is coming soon. Y'all stay tuned. Where that's 2000 stuff too, and then songs like Tired of You and like this project you're putting out is that early 2000s, late 90s resurgence. It's people singing the shit that they grew up on and the shit that makes them happy and kind of fulfills them, as opposed to someone telling you, hey, you should put out this song because so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And it's like, no, you put out the shit you want to put out, Walker.
Well, I think before I was putting out songs that I loved, songs that, you know, did fairly well and, you know, were catchy. But man, I was young. You know, I'm still young, I guess. I feel like I'm 45 sometimes. But
5 years in town will do that to you, bud.
Right. But you know, we were just kind of like, all right, this song's good. Let's put it out, see what happens. And luckily, you know, some songs did well. But it took me some time to figure out the noise that I wanted to make. And I feel like that's natural too. I'd almost be scared if, you know, the older I got and my music never changed. You know, it's like I never like grew as an artist, you know. And so it just, you know, even if you listen to my music when I was at Play It Again, every single song kind of got more traditional. Even a song like Out of Nowhere, it's got dobro and stuff in it. But yeah, man, you just kind of find it takes time for some people, including me, to kind of find your voice, for lack of better words, find the noise you want to make. And luckily, you know, Bart and I sat down and we just kind of hashed it out, and I feel like we figured it out pretty good, to be honest with you.
That's a good guy to be working with, dude.
I love him, man. He runs 1,000,000 miles an hour all the time, and I'm kind of like the opposite. You know, it's just like I think I'm a pretty calm guy in general.
I'd say so.
You know, but especially since I quit drinking. But but no, man, we're definitely, we kind of bounce off of each other, and it's good. It's a really good dynamic.
Yeah, dude. So how are the Wildcats going to be in football this year?
Man, I'll tell you what, we almost lost to Eastern Kentucky University. Well, we beat them by 11, but I mean, it was just a rough game. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather have games like that early on in the year, just 'cause, I mean, it's fun to blow people out and, you know, beat them 55-0 or whatever it is. But I don't think you're getting any better by doing that, you know, and having somewhat good, like EKU's, I mean, for FCS, I guess is what it's called. And they've won like 4 national titles. Yeah. So it's a solid program. We should be beating them by more than 11. But, you know, I like the fact that some of these teams are challenges for us, because then once we get to Florida, which I guess is 2 games away, and Georgia, which we ain't beating Georgia, but we'll beat Florida, Tennessee, all these other teams, we'll be more prepared than we were if we were playing, you know, just some high school team. Or, you know, or what, not actually a high school team, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just
some easy team that we'd beat 67-0 or whatever it is. But I think we'll be pretty good. I think we'll go 8-4, 9-3. Look, we could go 1-11, and as long as we beat Tennessee, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care about Louisville. I don't care about Georgia. I don't care about South Carolina, whatever it is. As long as we beat Tennessee, I'm happy. And it never happens. But, you know, so when it does, I'm like, thank God.
It could happen this year. They struggled against Austin Peay.
They did, man. It was wild to see. I saw the QBR ratings of all the quarterbacks, and Joe Milton was second to last, and Devin Leary, our quarterback, was last.
Yeah, well, Devin's filling some big shoes for the guy that's down here in Nashville.
I was always a Levis guy, just because I'd seen the terrible quarterbacks that had come through Kentucky, but he was solid, man. He served his purpose, and I think that if Liam Cohen, our OC, would have been there last year, we probably would have won 10 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was always a Levis guy. I hope he doesn't get a lot of playing time this year, so he can kind of get his feet set in the NFL and then have, you know, a flourishing career. But he's a good guy. I met him a couple times. You know, I don't know if he'd know me from Adam, but it's still. I still think he's a good guy, and he's a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, dude. We just had you big into fantasy football? You ever do that?
Man, I did it one time, and I loved it. It was a great time, but then I just didn't have anybody to do with it, and I'd always forget to change my players and stuff, and then my quarterback would have a bye week, and I'd be like, well, shit. I'm just, I'm last now, but it's fun, man. But I need to get back into it.
Yeah, so I did, like I was talking about with the mysterious Domino's pizza that popped up last week. Shout out to our boys Mark Ori at Eli Locke, Baker Grissom, and Ryan Nelson, the mayor of Nashville. Ryan Nelson, Mayor Nelson, we love him. Dickie T got us into this concept called a Dynasty League. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dynasty League. So a Dynasty League, you do one big draft, and then you have that team for the future. And you pick 3 additional players a year, and you have to drop 3 or however many picks you have or whatever, like based on who you keep or drop. Yeah. I picked Will Levis towards the end because I'm like, I think this kid can do something. Yeah. If we're in this for the long haul, I don't mind him sitting on my bench because you have 20 roster spots in a Dynasty League. It's a fucking stupid big roster. Luckily, no kickers or defense. It's all offensive players.
That's fun. Cool. That's fun though, man.
Oh, it is. It is fun, and I won. I barely scraped by this week. I did better than my New York Football Giants did last night. That shit was fucking brutal. But like you said, I'm hoping now that they get better because of it. Because they aren't a bad team on paper.
They're not. I like y'all's coach. And
Dable's the shit. Dable could have been in The Sopranos. Like Dable is what you want when you think of a New York, New Jersey football coach. Brian Dable is that guy. He's a little chubby bald dude smoking cigars after every game. I hope he didn't. I don't think he had one last night. But
I wouldn't have.
I don't think he had one last night. But yeah, I have Will Levis on my team.
Well, good,
you get to a lot of Titans games or not really?
Man, not really. I mean, that's the problem with. I mean, obviously, I love being on the road. That's what I'm here for. That's my thing. Recording music's awesome. So, going in the studio is great. Writing songs is the best thing ever. But going on the road is my thing. I just love it. But that's also how I don't know anything different. It's
you were out on the road as a young kid, right?
And back in the 90s, I mean, all them boys were road dogs, man. I mean, it was, they would have laughed at a 20-show tour. It's just how it was. It was an 80-show tour, 65-show tour, and but so I don't know any different. But the downfall of that is making it to Kentucky football games. I'm a Browns fan. Making it to Browns fan. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, and big win yesterday,
dude. Awesome.
Big win yesterday. How great is that? And of all the teams to beat week 1 at the Dog Pound, it's you guys over the Bengals. Awesome. That's fucking sick.
Well, I'm just I'm not a Burrow guy myself. I just, I think he's kind of goofy. But yeah, man. And we got the Steelers next week. If we can win at Pittsburgh, then I'll be like, all right, this team might be for real. But until then, I'm like, oh, well, it's just the Bengals. Because we got the Bengals numbers. They might go to the Super Bowl, but we beat them almost every time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's fun. It really is. But I wish that I could get to more games. And when it gets cold and stuff and some of the shows aren't happening like they are, I mean, we always get to go to a game. Mama and I, that's kind of our thing. We always go to the game, or I drag her to the games, essentially, and she wants to spend time with me, so there she is. But yeah, man, we've seen some good games, and it's always been like 10 degrees outside up in Cleveland when we're there.
Why the Browns?
Man, so this is a weird story. My granddad, so it's Tim Couch, right, Kentucky quarterback, #1 pick. He was a Browns quarterback when I was born, but my granddad had this Browns jacket when I was growing up, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. For whatever reason, I just love that jacket. I put it on. It was like a dress on me almost, because it's about that tall. And so I always loved the Browns. We grew up going to Patriots games because Dad and Tom kicked it off at the Derby one year. Most random thing and most random relationship
Tom Brady?
Yeah. Most random relationship he ever had.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, he's a great dude. I mean, just one of the most solid guys you've ever met. But the most random relationship that Dad ever had. Because Dad was not really friends with famous people. It's just, it wasn't in his DNA. But for whatever reason, Tom and him kicked it off. So we grew up, going to Patriots games and going to Foxborough and stuff.
So how do you end up? So I mean, I get the sentimental thing, like wanting to be like granddad, but like you have the opportunity to be a Patriots guy. I credit you for being a Browns fan.
Yeah, we were Tom Brady guys.
Okay,
right. And once he left, it was kind of like, all right, well, we'll just we'll cheer for the Browns. It's whatever it is. But we always cheered for the Browns growing up too, and it was kind of the Browns was a team, and the player, our player was Tom. And but yeah, man, we love them. It's my mom and I love. Of course, Dad is a Bengals fan.
So that had to be really cool to win week one.
That's part of the reason I'm a Browns fan, because it's like, well, this is just going to be fun, But it's great. Cleveland's a great town. I think it gets a bad rap. Down by the stadium, man, they've got their own kind of like Gulch area and stuff. It's awesome. It's a great town. And hell, Chaser Ice has that country bar there now. I've been there a couple. I ain't played there a couple times, but just go and hang out there. It's an awesome town. It really is.
Yeah, you talk about Cleveland, most underrated town.
I agree.
You would say Cleveland's the most underrated?
I would say Cleveland is the most underrated, and Cincinnati's cool too. But yeah, I would say Cleveland, and Boston's a great town too.
You like Boston?
Boston's great. I'll take Boston over Chicago, New York any day.
Damn.
But Cleveland's great, man. If you want like a big city that but it's not like New York, ginormous, and you just want to have a good time. There's cool bars there. There's great sports fans. Cleveland's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's great.
What about like the small towns where you've gone? Do you remember your first show once you had a booking deal?
Oh,
do you remember like your first
I do actually. Saddlebags in Savannah.
Oh, bro,
which I know you know Saddlebags.
Love me some Saddlebags, bro. That little cave,
dude.
It's a cave.
It the only thing I can remember about Saddlebags is, and I'm sure you've seen this, the subs on the front.
Yep.
It's liquid. I don't know if it's beer. I don't know if it's whiskey. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's just liquid hanging out in like with the handles, and they never clean them up. It's been there since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it is just, what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's just disgusting. And every time I'd be singing, I look down and I'd like forget the words, because I'm like, that is the grossest thing. That's sewer. It's sewer water.
Yeah.
And the damn subs. But it's a party. Talk about a place with a built-in crowd.
Yes.
People are just like, I don't care who's there. I don't care who's going to be there. We're going to Saddlebags.
Yeah, and the load-in for that on the Cobblestone Road. Oh, yeah, that load-in's rough.
Oh, my God. We broke a screen on my sound guy. He had, this little board, and we were pushing it down the road, that Cobblestone Road, and we opened it up, and one of the screens had cracked just because it was so rocky. But, I mean, it's still a fun place to go, man, though. And Savannah's a cool town, too.
Yeah, Savannah. I like Savannah a lot.
Yeah, it's a great
cool. I like
place.
Savannah, and then I'm going to be going to Charleston for the first time. I'm going to be going there for the first time. My girlfriend's from there.
Really?
She lives here. She actually lives in the Gulch. So I go to the pub and the Burger Republic a lot. I was actually there on Saturday. But I'm going back to Charleston with her coming up in November. And I've only been to Isle of Palms. I've only been to the Windjammer.
I don't know if I've been to Isle of Palms, but you'll like Charleston, man. Just get seafood, and I don't know if you're a seafood guy.
I am. That's like I'm going to Floribama this weekend. I'm going to be eating seafood.
Dude.
I'm trying to eat healthy at the Floribama, which
that's going to be. I'm
just going to eat oysters all the time. People be looking, why is Matt looking so weird? Oh, he's eating 100 oysters.
He's eating 100 oysters, man.
Man, dude. So the EP comes out Friday?
Yeah, September 15th. Yeah, it's going to be a great time, man. I'm excited and we're going back in the studio, as I mentioned earlier, in October. I'm thinking about it, and I'll get your opinion on it too. But I want to cut, and I've never really thought about this before, but going in the studio next time, I want to cut one of Dad's old songs. And just because it's like, hell, I'm paying for it, I might as well cut if we can't find a love song that I like, or I haven't written one, which, I mean, we got a good amount of songs, but Rope the Moon is one of my favorite songs of Dad's, and Trey Lewis loves it too. I just, I want to do something like that and kind of maybe have Dad in on it or something, but I'll get your opinion on it afterwards. But it's just going into the studio, man, it's so stressful, but it's so fun at the same time, because you want to get it all right. But then once you get in there, it's like, whatever, let's just roll, man. Let's do it and try to make it as good as we can.
That's awesome. Then you got shows coming up too?
Got shows coming up, yeah. going to where are we going? We're going to we're going out with Drew Parker next week. So I got a show in Nashville, which you should come if you're in town on Wednesday at the 8th Room.
Oh, nice.
And then we're doing Columbus, Ohio, Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, cruisins.
With that's exactly what it is.
We know
and
those
with Drew
guys
Parker.
real well. Those are the tailgating tall boys, dudes.
Okay, hell yeah.
Those boys are wild.
Yeah,
we
man.
love them.
I'm pumped for it. I've never opened up for Drew. I've met him, I think, like twice, but I mean, he's always been nice to me when he doesn't have to be. I like people like that. If everybody that I open up for, because they don't have to talk to me. They don't have to, they're doing their own thing, and I get it. But if they, I've had people. Jake Owens, one of them. They seek me out, and they're like, "Hey, man, appreciate you coming out." They're nice to me when they don't have to be. I love that. Yeah. And Drew's
That's going to be a country ass show. You and
big
Drew
time,
together.
Dude. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
That's as country as it gets.
It's gonna be sick.
I think McElwain saw your face in a bathroom at a venue recently. Where was that at?
I don't know. That's a good thing. Oh yeah, we're doing PBR on 25th of this month.
Nice.
I've never done that PBR, man. We done 4th Street Live, which is just right outside of it. But going back to Kentucky and doing shows like that's always a good time, man.
I'm sure you get the hometown crowd.
Hometown crowd, man. It'll be a good time.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, man, I'm glad we were able to make this happen.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it.
And super stoked. What's the title of the EP again?
Work to Do.
Work to Do. Yeah. Work to Do is out right now when this episode drops
there you go, yeah.
on the 15th. So plug that. Work to Do, our boy Walker Montgomery, the new EP. Y'all be sure to check it out. When people can find you, it's Walker Montgomery Music under it.
If you're like a website guy, like it's 2004, go to walkermontgomery.com. But hell, just look up Walker Montgomery on Instagram or Facebook or
you
whatever.
TikTok at all? Real quick,
man,
one last thing. You do that at all?
I do. But I've always been like the kind, like I'm gonna get married one day. I'm gonna have kids. I don't want them seeing their dad dancing on TikTok.
I don't think you have to dance. I think you can do it effectively.
Yeah. We do. I mean, we've got over.
You know what I would love? Yeah. I'd love the car content.
We That's do what some you of should that. Do. Yeah. But no, man, we just we try. I'm not a vivid TikToker, or avid TikToker, I guess. But we've got a pretty good following on it. We got like 140,000 on it.
That's pretty good.
But we do fine on it. But like I said, I'm not a avid TikToker. I don't wake up and think, all right, what's my TikTok of the day going to be? But you got to do it though. Yeah,
got to do what you got to do. Well, be sure to follow Walker on all the socials. Look up Walker Montgomery and Work to Do. It's out right now. Y'all be sure to check it out. Shout out to our friends at Big Friendly Productions, Whale Tail Media, and our boy Grady Saxman with Saxman Studios. For Will Walker here and Sweet Boy behind the camera, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.
Come on.
Sweet.
Thanks, dude.